the North End. This is the North End.
What is up, North Enders? Welcome back to the channel. Now, before I get into the good, the bad, and the ugly from Liverpool to Wolverhampton Wanderers nil today at Anfield, please hit that subscribe button. You know where it is. It's right where it always is. Please hit that and help us grow the channel. So jumping right into the good. There was quite a few things that were good about Liverpool's performance. And if you've been watching these videos and they're coming thick and fast right now as the games come thick and fast, you will know that that is not the norm at the moment with Liverpool. It's a little bit of up and then a bit of down and then a bit of up. But for some reason, at this point in the season, when it really counts, Liverpool have found a little bit of consistency in the Premier League, and I'll get into that shortly. But before I do, the good is around some of the problem players we've had this season. Players who are probably already Liverpool legends. They've already won everything, but they were just not themselves this season. Who I'm talking about, number one, Trent Alexander-Arnold on that right. Great on the ball, very good in possession, good in defense as well. I know people don't like to hear that. But above anything else, the way he set the tone with the pressing on that right-hand side, fantastic. And the right-hand side has actually been a very, very strong area for Liverpool in this, somewhat of a return to form. Virgil van Dijk, imperious today at the back. Now, look, Virgil was not necessarily tested today. He's going to have a lot more tests coming up. But you know what? You can only play who you're up against. And it looked like the real Virgil van Dijk, fresh of being included in FIFA Team of the Year. I'm not sure how many people even agree with that. I'm not sure if he agrees with that. However, he was in the Team of the Year, seemed to give him a shot in the arm, and he was back and looked really good today. But the one that I need to shout out is Fabinho. Now, I adore Fabinho for what he's done to Liverpool in his tenure. He is a brilliant defensive midfielder, and I'll always have a lot of love for him. However, fans of this channel will know I have been quite harsh and quite critical of Fab this season, but not today. He was, I'm not saying back to his best, but he was, let's call it Fabinho light. He played a really good game in the center of midfield at the anchor point. And you know what? We need that Fabinho for the rest of the season. We're definitely going to need him this weekend. He put his foot in. He was first to things. Distribution was good. He had that physicality back as well. So bravo for Fabinho. And while I'm talking about individuals, I do also need to give Mo Salah a mention. 6 seasons out of 6 at Liverpool, he has scored 20 goals. It's insane. Now go and look at who you think are some of the best forwards in Premier League history and look at how many seasons. For Liverpool alone, there is nobody. Actually, he's out on his own now with 6 seasons where he's hit 20 goals. And that is while he is not having his best season, which is this season. You know what? He may not be his usual self, but he's still the king. But overall, lots of good patterns of play. Young Bajcetic, another good performance. Diogo Jota took a big step back. Darwin Núñez, just unmarkable, the size and the speed. Had a good goal ruled out as well, which I'll come on to. So lots of good, lots of encouragement. The last thing I want to talk about good is this little patch of form Liverpool have found. So if we put Real Madrid to the side for a minute, because I do think Real Madrid would destroy a lot of teams in the Premier League, particularly those who are chasing the Champions League spots. Liverpool have now picked up 10 points in the last 12 and 4 clean sheets in a row. So 10 points in the last 12. But this run actually extends a bit further than that, because if you look at the last 12 games, so 12 games are usually a third of a season, but also right now, half of the season that we've played. And Liverpool have picked up 23 points in the last 12 games. And the top team in that same period, which I believe is Man City or Arsenal, have picked up 26. So we're only 3 points behind the team at the top of form over half the season so far. So there's definitely green shoots of recovery. I don't know if we're favourites right now for that top 4 spot. However, you know what? Even though this is a problem season, we just have to cling to those positives and keep moving forward. Because now, if you're looking at it over like a game, over a period of time which includes Liverpool having a dreadful start to this calendar year, how good must we have been at the end of last year and at either side of the World Cup, which kind of gets lost when momentum comes up. But in the last 12 games, Liverpool are only 3 points behind the team at the top. So lots of good points, lots to talk about. That's very encouraging for Liverpool. And look, we just need to be in contention for the top four because that is the absolute minimum we can deal with. On to the bad. So I have to say that once again, there were moments in time where this just looked like it was going to be another one of those games that Liverpool just weren't going to be able to break the door down. And normally, especially if you're playing a big team or you're playing away from home, we can deal with that. You know, that's not a problem. The problem here was that Wolves weren't the Wolves that we played at Molineux a couple of weeks ago. They had a couple of bright spots very early on, but in general, Wolves were a shadow of themselves, and yet it took us a long time to get some sustained pressure which broke them down. And actually, you know, as this race hots up and there's 14 games left or something like that in the season for Liverpool, it's actually not good enough. Like, Liverpool need to be a lot more clinical. And actually, that chance creation, it just has to start coming earlier in the game, because if you're relying on something really special to happen late on, there's gonna be more of like the Crystal Palace game the other day. So I do have to say that despite me having quite a lot of good things to say about Liverpool today, I was still not impressed at the chance creation, ball retention, you know, keeping things moving, pulling Wolves out of place, traditional Liverpool things. They still weren't there today, and they were in patches, but definitely not enough to start getting really confident that we're gonna pick up like a lot of the last points in these 14 games. And 14 games is 42 points. Like, there's a lot to play for right now. And the sooner Liverpool can actually click into gear in regards to actually using the ball better, they'll be in a much better place. Now, finally, the ugly. Now, look, I'm supposed to be talking about Liverpool. I definitely can't talk about Wolves, but I cannot once again not talk about the referee, Paul Tierney. Two things in particular. Number one, he somehow managed to book Fabinho when one of the Wolves players could have been and maybe should have been sent off. Now, that's a very, very Liverpool-centric view, but you know what? I do not care. We literally did not get any rub of the green today. And, you know, we actually have people on the channel who have this theory about top four or top six bias. And I mean, I have a bias myself that says Liverpool don't particularly do well with certain referees from certain parts. But what I think we can all agree on is the refereeing. The refereeing. It's ugly. It's disgusting. And then the other one was when he ruled out Darwin Núñez's goal. Now, someone correct me if you're watching this. I think that was the third goal that Darwin scored. That's very, very borderline disallowed by VAR. But it wasn't actually called off for something Darwin did. Diogo Jota kind of gets like not fouled to the point that it would have been a penalty, but basically on his way down from contact that would not have been a penalty. I'm not saying that Liverpool's goal was disallowed from a point where Liverpool should have had a penalty. Jota does this mazy dribble. He almost gets in. There's a bit of a clattering, not a penalty, but on his way down, Jota kind of brings someone down, I guess, on his own way down. And they ruled that off for VAR. And I don't even want to know what they were saying in Tierney's ear, but the minute he went over to the screen to watch what was happening, Liverpool, we all knew what was going to happen. Like, he might as well not have done it and then just given it there and then, because not only do referees never go with their own opinion and somewhat punk the people up in that video room, but he wasn't going to do that against Liverpool, was he really? Ugly performance again. And you know, as much as I want to try to really get behind Liverpool and really try and bring out some confidence in this last little spell, there's too many variables, and I'm so nervous, I guess is the word, that 1 or 2 games are still yet going to be decided by poor refereeing. I was very impressed by how Liverpool actually pushed on. After that, Liverpool a few weeks ago, if that goal had been given, the VAR had disallowed that goal a few weeks ago, we actually would have dropped our heads. And instead, as I thought would happen, Liverpool pushed on from this point and actually ended up breaking the door down again. So impressive from Liverpool there as well. Which brings us on to the next game, which is Liverpool versus Man United, the big one on Sunday. We may even have some North Enders joining the Liverpool Toronto Supporters Club as a bit of a cameo, just to have some banter and watch the game together. It's at Anfield, so I'm pretty excited about it. But even when we're on top, I'm a bit nervous. Obviously, Man United have got some momentum and confidence and the bit between their teeth. So hopefully it's going to be a great game. And I'll be back for the good, the bad, and the ugly for that. But for now, once again, please subscribe, like, share, comment, share with your friends. And I shall speak to you soon. All the best.
This is the North End.